Have you noticed something unusual lately? A drink that most Indians barely talked about for years has suddenly become one of the hottest beverages in the country. I'm talking about Diet Coke. People are searching for it on grocery apps. Supermarkets are running out of stock, and social media is filled with posts showing empty shelves and celebrating the moment someone finally finds a can. The obvious question is, why is this happening? Did Coca-Cola launch a new version of Diet Coke? No. Did they suddenly slash prices? Again, no. So why has a product that has been around for decades suddenly become so popular? The answer is surprisingly interesting because it has very little to do with the drink itself. Let's start with one important fact. There have been several posts on social media claiming that Diet Coke has captured 30% of India's soft drink market. That claim is misleading. What has actually happened is that demand for Diet Coke has grown much faster than Coca-Cola expected. While India's overall zero sugar beverage market is also expanding rapidly, in fact, Coca-Cola's own executives recently admitted that demand for Diet Coke in India had exceeded their expectations. The company's chief financial officer, John Murphy, even described it as a wonderful problem to have. Think about that for a second. One of the world's biggest companies with decades of market research and forecasting experience was surprised by its own product. That tells us this wasn't a carefully planned marketing campaign. Something changed in the market, and that something is Generation Z. Today's younger consumers don't just buy products because they are useful. They buy products that fit the lifestyle they want to project. You have probably seen this happen before. A simple coffee becomes an Instagram post. A water bottle becomes a fashion accessory. A pair of sneakers becomes a status symbol. Products are no longer just products. They are part of personal identity. Diet Coke quietly entered that space. Over the past few months, the silver can started appearing in aesthetic Instagram photos, lifestyle reels, and videos created by influencers and ordinary users alike. Once enough people started posting about it, curiosity spread. More people wanted to try it. More people bought it. And that is when the second part of the story began. Demand increased so quickly that stores couldn't keep up. Consumers started opening grocery apps only to see one frustrating message: out of stock. Ironically, that shortage made the product even more desirable. Psychologists call this the scarcity effect. When something suddenly becomes difficult to find, our brains automatically assume it must be valuable. We have seen the same thing happen with limited edition sneakers, concert tickets, gaming consoles, and even certain chocolates. Diet Coke unexpectedly entered the same cycle. Every empty supermarket shelf became free advertising. Every out of stock message made even more people curious. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. The shortage wasn't caused only by rising demand, it was also influenced by events taking place thousands of kilometers away from India. So what caused the shortage? The answer takes us far beyond India's borders. Earlier this year, tensions involving Iran disrupted important shipping routes in the Middle East. According to Reuters, those disruptions affected the supply of aluminium cans used for beverages. Since Diet Coke in India is primarily sold in cans, Coca-Cola suddenly faced a packaging challenge. To keep products on shelves, the company even had to import larger cans from Southeast Asia. And in some places, consumers ended up paying a little more. It is a fascinating reminder of how connected the modern world has become. A geopolitical event happening thousands of kilometers away can influence something as simple as the drink you buy from your neighborhood supermarket. But while Coca-Cola was trying to solve its supply problems, social media kept doing what it does best. It amplified the trend. Every Instagram story showing an empty shelf, every reel celebrating the discovery of a can, every post saying "finally got one" made more people curious. Marketing experts call this social proof. When we repeatedly see other people wanting something, our brain starts wondering, what am I missing? And before we know it, we want to try it too. Ironically, Coca-Cola couldn't have bought this kind of publicity with an advertising campaign. The internet created it for them. Now, does this mean Diet Coke will remain India's hottest drink forever? Probably not. Most viral trends eventually slow down. Once Coca-Cola restores its supply chain and cans become easily available again, the excitement created by the shortage is likely to fade. However, that doesn't mean Coca-Cola loses. Millions of Indians who had never tried Diet Coke have now tasted it for the first time. Some may return to regular soft drinks, but many will continue buying Diet Coke simply because they now like it. For Coca-Cola, that is a long-term win, but I think the biggest lesson isn't about soft drinks. It is about how trends are created. We often assume companies can manufacture viral moments through clever advertising. The truth is, some of the biggest trends happen when several factors come together at exactly the right time. A shift in consumer preferences, a social media conversation, a temporary shortage, and a little bit of luck. That is exactly what happened here. Diet Coke didn't suddenly become a different drink. The recipe didn't change. The calories didn't change. What changed was the story surrounding the product. And in today's digital world, stories often spread faster than advertisements. So the next time you see a product suddenly selling out everywhere, don't just ask, why is everyone buying it? Ask a better question. What changed that made people suddenly care? Because that answer will usually tell you much more about consumer behavior than about the product itself. And that is why the sudden rise of Diet Coke in India is more than just a story about a soft drink. It is a story about how social media, psychology, global supply chains, and changing lifestyles can turn an ordinary product into the hottest trend of the moment. If you found this story interesting, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Here on ManishSirG, we go beyond the headlines to explain the business, technology, economics and global events shaping our world. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.